Microphone working? There we go. Thank you. Hi. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back. First thing we'd like to let you know about is outside, we have a silent auction happening. And I don't know if you know what a silent auction is, but there are some really cool items that you can pay a lot of money for. And what you do is you walk up to the item, and if you want it, you write your name down and you list your price. And then the next person goes, well, I wanted more. And so they write their name down and they put a bigger number. And then you start battling it out. Who wants it the most? So there's some really cool things there that you might want the most. So we have a bunch of signed books by Geshe Michael. We have 5 Karma of Love books. We have 5 Katrins. We have 10 China Love You. And now here come bigger items. We have 6 of the box sets of the translation of the Diamond Cutter Sutra and the Heart Sutra.
You should show it. No,
not that. Could someone go grab them out in the hallway, please? And then after that, and can you also grab the King of the Dharma too?
Whoa.
Please.
Man.
So you have over the next 4 days, you can just walk by the table out there and say, I want that book, $1. But they're already kind of beyond $1 at this point, okay? So the more that you battle, the more you raise money to support our organizations.
Let me hold it up. Yeah. I'll hold this one up.
So this is the box set of the Diamond Cutter Sutra and the Heart Sutra. Translated by Venerable Jigme and Geshe Michael Roach. And she's in the back. And all of the proceeds of this, and thanks to the Diamond Cutter Classics, or excuse me, the Diamond Cutter Press. The Diamond Cutter Press is, all the proceeds will be going to support the Asian Classics Institute. So thank you very much. But I have one more thing. This is the very last copy of the King of the Dharma original first edition print.
Let's open it. You hold it.
And the winner of this will also, after donating a lot of money for the last book in existence available in hardcover, you also will get to come up on stage and get a special blessing and reading from it. And just know that whatever money is raised, we are incredibly grateful for that. We're everything that you do to help support ACI helps us grow in all around the world. And so we have another video for you to celebrate our 30th anniversary, to learn more about where ACI has come from.
He's not doing this again after 6 years. Let me just in case.
Let's rewind that and put some audio on.
They're in Chinese.
Can we go back to the beginning because we missed the first part?
He's not doing this again after 6 years. Let me just record this just in case. That was it, really.
John Stillwell asked if I would like to get recordings of the classes. And so, yeah, I had been really looking for courses or any kind of reasonable teachings about what's being taught in the monastery, and it was impossible in those days. It wasn't available anywhere except in really, really difficult translations that didn't use normal English. So I was really happy to find out that somebody's teaching it and that I had access to the tapes. That was amazing.
I ended up volunteering actually, Jules, and we were doing the cassette-to-cassette recordings of every teaching and sending that to prisons or places around the world.
People that I knew from Land of Medicine Buddha, Vajrapani, people I knew at Shamatha, long-term retreat, were asking for Dharma teachings, and so I would take a copy of Geshe Michael's recordings and send them. And more people would ask, so I had to buy a double-speed recorder, and then more people would ask, and I had to buy a 4-position, 16-time speed recorder. This is cassette tapes. This tells you where it was. This is pre-internet, okay? And so then more people asked, and then I had to buy like a 16-position, 12-time speed cassette recorder, to fulfill the demand, right? And, eventually we had a dedicated space with volunteers working and hundreds of courses on the shelf at a time where volunteers were sort of producing and sending things out to people, because there was just no comprehensive teaching to be had prior to his putting this material together.
In my search for freedom, I ended up in prison in New Zealand. And that's where I eventually ran into Geshe Michael's teachings. I met this guy that was studying some Buddhism, and he was sharing some books with me, and he's like, we should get these ACI recordings from this guy, Geshe Michael. And so we wrote a letter, sent it to America, and I don't know, a month later they arrived.
Well, even before the web became a thing, I had to buy a commercial CD burner where you'd stack 100 CDs on the spindle, and you'd load it and it would burn the CDs. So we upgraded from cassettes to CDs, to give state-of-the-art material to people, right?
First it was just people sending out the boxes of tapes, the binders. So the teachings kind of spread throughout the world, really.
The cassettes and the CDs that spread around, and other people started to invite him to teach at other places. He acquired a 100-acre retreat center in Connecticut that was donated. Developed teachings, and we conducted meditation retreats there and long-term retreats there. And then he started Yoga Studies Institute, and he bought a 1,000-acre parcel in Arizona for Diamond Mountain and started Diamond Mountain.
Geshe Michael really promoted people to learn the material and to teach it. And over the years, I think a big shift happened after we went into 3 retreats. So in 2011, but that seemed to kind of centralize an ACI group. And then I think Tim did a lot of work to really formalize ACI and to start creating trainings to train teachers to have some sort of standards and consistency. And so I think that was a big, starting at that time with the Lam Rim series, it was like a different rebirth of ACI.
One of the greatest legacies that Geshe Michael will leave for us, or has left for us already, is his innovative way of bringing the Buddha's teachings to the 21st century. Because we can now understand what is in those texts in a way that's relevant to us today. And he's taught us how to take that information, that wisdom, and then to continue to make it relevant as times change. The teachings stay the same, but how can we reach the concerns and cares of the people in the future? And I think he's created this beautiful way that we can then go out on our own and say, what is the most relevant thing that's important to you? And then how to teach that to you. And one of the cool things that ACI does that we don't really advertise very much is that we still send the ACI teachings to prisoners. They write us letters from prison. And then we send them CDs, USBs, because they're not allowed to access the internet. All of this is now available all across the internet, but when you're in prison, you don't have that access. But we still provide that to them. And Sheree, where are you? Sheree Moore Her Sheree is the reason why you have ACI certificates.
Yeah.
She's been managing all of the courses and your grades since 1999, I believe, somewhere around there. And she's the reason why you have those certificates. And so thank you very much.
There's a city in Colorado, Colorado Springs. I think how many million people? 3? 500,000 people. And they have a city council. And she's the treasurer of the city council. And she does the ACI work in her free time. So thank you. Yeah.
And Sheree's father, Michael Moore, Dr. Michael Moore, manages the prison project. So as the letters come in, we forward them over to Colorado Springs, and then he packages everything up and then sends them to the prisoners. And it's a beautiful, beautiful program. And we saw that Earl Burney became a senior ACI teacher after being, oops, seeking freedom. Yes, he was seeking freedom through incarceration. So
her dad, who he sends all the tapes out, many thousands in 30 years, I think, something. He sends out the tapes, and he's a surgeon, and he's a pretty famous doctor. And nowadays he does surgery in the prisons for free, and that's his job. Yeah.
So we'll have one more presentation about ACI in the beginning of the next class.
Think? Okay.
If we have it, thank you.
Which one? Good night. Okay. I have a story to tell you. So in my whole life, I never had a television. Except when I was a little kid. My family had a television room, and we used to eat dinner in there sometimes and watch television. And that was a custom in the United States. And then when I got old enough to understand what's in the television, I stopped watching it. I think it was in high school. I stopped watching it because it was so violent and dirty and, not nice. And so that continued until the COVID. And then COVID came, and suddenly I cannot travel, which is my whole life, and cannot teach people in public. And I start to watch internet movies and Korea soap operas, and also Korea soap operas, and war movies, dirty things, everything. And I go crazy. I never had a TV before. And then I start, like I can't sleep sometimes, and I'll get up and I'll translate for 10 minutes, and then I'll watch a movie, and I don't like it. I really don't like it. And it started to disturb my sleep, and I start to sleep not so well. And my wife come out, "Are you going to bed?" And I'm like, "No, now I'm watching football." I started watching football. I don't know what happened, but suddenly I got addiction to this thing. And since the COVID, so I was trying to figure out what to do. And I found a cool thing to do, and it's giving me really, really good sleep. And in the monastery, when I was in the Geshe program, if I have trouble sleeping, I will read Madhyamika and this long books, and if I read one page, I fall asleep. It's amazing. And but I had, my sleep was disturbed, and then my mind was disturbed, and so I tried something. Will Duncan, maybe you guys remember Will Duncan. He was one of the early Diamond Mountain retreatants, and he's a good meditation teacher. And he has a small retreat center. It's like 3 people or something come there, and he takes away your cell phone at night. After dinner, he takes away your cell phone, and he gives it back to you in the morning. And I was talking to some friends of mine, and we actually came up with a cool idea. Okay, here it is. You guys gonna show a picture? And it's called the Good Night Book Club. Okay, Good Night Book Club. All right, and it's to have a good night. All right, and what I do now so Rob Haggerty is traveling with me. He's been my student for 27 years. And we have an agreement. And at 10 o'clock exactly, at night, he comes and knocks on my door. And I give him my computer, and I give him my cell phone. And I say, goodbye. I'll see you in the morning, And then everything's completely boring. And I just have to sleep, And I get a really good sleep, because there's nothing to watch, there's nothing to do. And at 6 o'clock, he comes again, and he knocks on the door, and I'm like, I take my cell phone, I miss you. Then I feel so happy, and I get my cell phone back, and I get my computer back, and my sleep is incredibly good, really, really good. And for me, that's very important, because I translate, I work hard. I work very, very hard, especially the first half of the day. I don't usually go out, or I don't meet people. I don't teach in the morning, early morning. And I translate ancient books, and it's very difficult work. And my mind has to be clear. And I start at 6:01, and my mind is very, very clear, because I had a good sleep, and I didn't watch Korean soap opera or other things. And it's fantastic, Then I was talking to Rosa. You guys maybe know we have a GMR luxury brand. Okay, there's a famous actor in America. His name is Paul Newman. He's my mother's, what do you call it? She has a crush on him. And he got very wealthy and very popular. And he used to make spaghetti sauce, good spaghetti sauce. And then his friends taste it. And they say, can you please give us some? So for Christmas, or New Year's, he will make 5 bottles, and he will give to his friends. And then 10, then 20, then 30. Then his friends said, why don't you make a company? Because your spaghetti sauce is really good. And he made a company. And then he started, he said, look, I'm already rich, so I will give all the money to charity. And he gives it to children's charity, like children's medical problems and things like that. And it's called Paul Newman brand. And now it's very famous. And I think it's over $100 million he has given to charity. He passed away. His daughter kept doing it, and she's still doing it. And they're in all the stores. You can see the spaghetti. It's good spaghetti sauce, by the way. And I thought I want to do something like that. I want to have a charity that it keeps going. So we have a luxury brand. And we do these rings and things. I'll tell you about it later. And we give them money. We donate all the profits in the country where I give the talk. So if I give a talk in Vietnam, we sell the luxury stuff, and we give the profits to in Vietnam. We pay our salary and we pay taxes. So we are not tax-free. We want to pay taxes. So we pay our salaries, we pay taxes to the government, and then the extra money we give to we donate inside that country. So in Vietnam, we support Mr. Bin, has built over 900 houses for poor people. And in China, we donate the funds to Dunhuang Project, which is a project to save ancient books from a cave, several thousand ancient books in a cave in the Gobi Desert. Very, very precious books, very, very valuable books. And like that, so every country where we are, we even donated in Kyoto to some schools here. So me and Rosa came up with this idea. If you don't have Rob in your life, right? If you can use the Goodnight Book Club, okay? And you get this valise. Valise is a fancy name for a small briefcase, very light, made of, we don't use leather, we use plastic, expensive plastic, luxury plastic. And it's big enough for your laptop, and it's big enough for your telephone and your TV controller. These three things, okay? These are the sambal, the three jewels, right? Your laptop, your phone, and your TV controller. And the idea is if you don't have Rob, if you join the club, okay, it's a free club, okay, but it's like a society, like we join together. And we are fighting our mental afflictions. We are fighting our negativities. We are fighting bad movies. Good movies you can watch in the daytime, okay? So 10 o'clock, if you join the club, you have to agree to put your cell phone, sambal, your laptop, and your TV controller. You put them in the briefcase and you close it. If you look at the briefcase on the left, there's a time lock. Understand? So you have to get some big scissors if you want to watch a movie. Understand? Yeah. So it's actually a time lock. And at 10 o'clock it locks, 10 p.m., 6 a.m. it opens, you know. And unless you're really movie addict, which I am sometimes, unless you cut open the bag, you know, you gotta not use your computer and your TV. And I'll tell you something. Yeah, I taught for 50 years. I've been teaching for 50 years. And this is the most valuable thing I can give you, okay? Seriously. And modern people, all of us, we are heavily addicted to, especially the phone. And it's very disturbing to your mind, okay? The electricity, the battery, the content, the internet, it's a disease. It's very, very disturbing. It ruins your meditation. It ruins your peace of mind. It ruins your thinking. You cannot think very strong. And we have to do something. And I'm always thinking for 10 years, 15 years, somebody else will figure it out. And I decided everybody else is addicted. Even the psychologists are addicted. They don't want to figure it out. So I think it's gonna be, if we can make a movement, like a revolution, and if it can spread from us, we could really help the world. You know, DCI is good, ACI is good, SCIM is good. 1.11111% people come. But this problem, everybody has. We all have this problem. The whole world has this problem. And it's really hurting the children. It's really hurting the young people. And we don't want Maitri and other kids here to get this addiction. If you take a break at night and you get some real quality sleep, you will discover you never got quality sleep in the last 10 years, okay? You will find out you didn't get some good sleep for 10 years or something. And your mind will be super strong, super creative, and you can do fantastic business, or you can write books, or you can make movies, or you can make movies to keep other people awake. No, okay, but it's fantastic, I have to tell you. And I'm trying to, from my heart, I hope you do it. You do not have the strength without the briefcase. I don't think so, okay? You do not have the strength. You will wake up, you know, I have an extra computer somewhere in my house. I will go looking around the whole house. And it's still a DOS computer, but I will figure out how to open it, you know? Because I'm so desperate to watch a movie or something. So, you know, you have to lock it up, okay? You have to lock it up. And so we have a case. You can buy the case. You don't have to. You can get your own case. I don't care. Probably we will take orders, right? Talk to Rosa. Well, you give me a QR code later today or whatever. And if you want to order a case, then it has a special brand. We call branding, right? Branding comes from cattle talk. Horse, the people who grow horses, they take a metal brand. It's a metal thing with 2 letters on it, and they make it hot, and they put it on the butt of the cow, and it burns the cow's thing, and it's called branding. And we have a special brand, real brand. We actually branding the briefcase, okay? So it's branded, you see what I mean? Calvin Klein figured it out also. So it has a GMR brand on it if you want. Okay, you don't have to. You can go buy one at Takashimaya. It's more expensive. But you can get one. Get one anyway. The lock you can buy on Amazon. Cheaper probably. But if you want the official one, talk to Rosa. And next, do you guys have more slides? Yeah, what's this mean? Yeah, you start at 10 p.m. and you open it at 6 a.m. Now, different people have different body rhythm. Maybe you are an 11-7 person. Maybe you are a 9 to 5 person. I like 10 to 6. My world, generally, if Seiji lets me go home, I get to go home around before 10. And so for me, 10 to 6 is good. And by the way, 8 hours of sleep is normal. You just never got it. Okay, 8 hours is healthy. 8 hours is good for you. Okay, if you may find 7 hours is enough. I don't know. I never got more than 4 or 5, and I'm always working, or I'm watching Korea soap operas or worse. And my mind was okay. I was functional, right? Pretty much. And but if I get 8 hours, my mind is like dynamite. You know, my mind is very powerful. So try it. And if you don't have your phone, if you don't have your laptop, you will find out you can sleep 8 hours, and you feel great. You feel really, really great when you wake up. And again, I think this is the best thing I ever taught. You know, and I really encourage you to take it seriously, and don't waste your life with these things, okay? There's so many hours. Average in American young people is 8 hours. Average, 8 hours on the phone, average. That means some kids are doing 12 hours or something, you know? So we want to help our children. It's a good example for your kids. They see you, what's the case, Mom? I'm saying goodbye to my cell phone, you know, you have a good night, you know, and the kids will go, wow, that's so nice, Mom, you know. Okay, so next slide, what do we have? Oh, Lindsay, we have anything? I don't know. We call it Good Night Book Club. Because listen, you can't really go to sleep at 10 o'clock. Who goes to sleep at 10 o'clock? So in the briefcase, with the briefcase, we supply a book, paper book, okay? Old-fashioned paper book is in the briefcase. He lives in the briefcase during the day. Then he wakes up at night. And at 10 o'clock, there's no room for the computer in the briefcase because the book is there. So what do you have to do? Take the book out, okay? And read something healthy, and it will, to sleep, to put you to sleep. Read something holy, read something beautiful, read something about meditation, read something about wisdom, you know. So part of this club, if you join the club, if you are lucky enough to join the club, we send you a book every month, okay? Yeah. And we send you a clean book and a beautiful book and something, you know. By the way, these deep books, they put you to sleep in 5 minutes. So it's very helpful, you know. It's definitely not interesting or, you know, you can go straight to sleep. So anyway, we will send you a book every month. If you join the club, if you join this part, the book club part, we will send you something every month. Do you have a picture of the box, the whole, do you have the picture of all the books together, you guys? I don't know. Yeah, here. We finished 10 books in the Mixed Nuts translator group. There's more than 10 in the box because some of them are 2 books. Nick's book is 700 pages. And it's too fat for 1 book. So we send you 2 books. Nick's book, which is Nagarjuna, especially good for sleeping. It's, so you can get like 12 books. And we also give you the King of the Dharma book, which you saw up here. And we have other books like that. So we have a plan for 12 paper books. We already have the books. We already made the set. The first book you get will be in a beautiful box. It's a box that fits the 10 books. It's 10 titles. It's 12 books or something. And you get the box and you get the first book. When I was a kid, I asked my mom, can I join the science fiction book club? And she made a big mistake. And she said, yes, honey, as many books as you can read, you can buy. And I read a book every 2 days or 3 days. And the whole garage there's no room for a car. It's full of books. When I went to college, she got stuck with like 2,000 books or something. And it was a big financial strain on her. And but she didn't break her commitment. She paid for them. And I have this feeling about book club. To me, it's a very beautiful thing. You know, if I'm in a book club and every month I'm waiting to get the package from Lindsay Jill. Can you please stand up? Yeah. Lindsay lives in Rimrock, the capital of the world. And it's a little bit bigger than Shenzhen. And no, I think we have 3,000 people, something. After you move there, the population double. But and the Chens moved there, right? And anyway, we will send you a book every month. Okay. Right now the books are in English. Okay, and that's a problem. Okay, but we have a plan. So Geshe, when Geshe makes a plan, it's always complicated. Okay, so we have translated, it took 8 years, and we translated over 3,000 pages of the most difficult Buddhist books. These are not the normal These are perfect for sleeping. Very difficult, extremely deep. They're all Kongxing, Kongxing, and Kongxing. You know, every book more Kongxing than the other one, more empty than Avakuidan. Leerheit, Pustata. Yeah, very, very, very deep books. Okay, I'm working on the most difficult books because nobody will be able to translate them later. Okay, so you will get a new book every month. Okay, where it's allowed. Okay, in some countries not allowed. Okay, then in those countries you will get a book which is allowed. Okay, which is approved in your country. For example, the Diamond Cutter Business Book is allowed in every country. So you will get a new book. Now, you want to go deeper? So we have thousands of pages of deep translations in this box, but it's all in English. And we have teams. We have a Spanish translation team led by Rosa van Grieken. We have lots of Russian, Ukrainian teams. We have Vietnamese people working on translating, but we need help. Okay, it's very difficult books. It's very difficult things, okay? So we have an idea. If you join the Good Night Book Club, you get every month a new book from the translators, and Uncle Nick will be here today, I think, or later. And you get a new book from the translators, and you will get about 20 pages of translation into your language. If you're Vietnamese, you will get 20 pages of Vietnamese translation. If you're German, you will get 20 pages of German. If you're Ukrainian, we'll send you British Columbia language. What's it about? What's it all about? Right? You go. So anyway, you'll get your language, and we ask you to check it and give us suggestions. Okay, so you're gonna join the Mixed Nuts. Okay, if you join the Good Night Club, if you want to, you become part of our team, our editing team. And even you will get English editing if you want English editing. We will send you 20 pages. We ask you to check 1 or 2 pages a day and send us your suggestions. You know, you can say this sentence is crazy, I don't understand anything, or this English is bad, or I like this book, like Japanese, right, Sophie Chow? We need people to check the Japanese also. So she's like, what? You're gonna help translate the 3,000 pages of English into Japanese. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, that will definitely put you to sleep. Okay, so if you join this club, every month you get a new book, and you get the box. You get the box in the first month, and you start to fill in the box with your books, okay? And the Mixed Nuts, we will try to, we can't do a book every month, but we'll try to give you a book every 3 months or something like that. And we are working thousands of hours, many thousands of hours. We had 1,200 hours of classes already. 1,200 hours, yeah. Yeah. I'm just selling your books. Yay, you want to stand up? Nick personally will fill up your box and send you your book. So you get a book every month, but I'm afraid right now it has to be English. We don't have translations yet. And you will get, I was in Bali. Yao Li from Taiwan got up on the stage with me. We had the Diamond Cutter book translation, the sutra. And it was expensive. The book was expensive. And she got up and she said, in Chinese language, Zhongwenda, she said, I don't care if you can't read it, you have to buy it. We sold so many books on that day. God bless. So anyway, in the beginning, we have to send English, okay? But later, but we will send you 20 pages to check. If you agree to join the book club, you have option to join the translation club. You have option to help us. You will be checking the translation for your language, for whatever language you want. You can help us check. You can say there's a mistake here or something like that. And Lindsay's gonna run the whole operation. Now, you wanna go deeper? Okay, we decided, you see, it costs money to send a book. It's expensive. To send a book is $70. To send one book is $70. And then we have to make profit for the next kid. Now, we have to make some profit to support the translators. So we have an idea how to make it fair. You see, if you live in Russia or Ukraine right now, the economy is not good. If you live in Latin America, the average income is very low. If you live in, I don't know, Pacific Rim, Korea, Japan, Singapore, you have more money, right? If you live in Vietnam, you're pretty strong. So we decided to split the world into 7 regions. There will be 7 different regions. So there'll be one price for Latin America. There'll be one price for Russian-speaking people. Until the war finished. When it finished, we doubled the price. And like that, we will try to, then we have a boss for each region. We have a regional director. We already chose them, and they will help decide the price for your region. Okay, so so you don't have to pay, like, I don't know, if you live in Peru, you don't have to pay German price or something like that. You pay what's good for your country, okay? And there's different levels, all right? If you cannot afford to join the heavy book to send you once, you can join, you can give less every month. You can give much less. You can give $5, $10. It's like, we stole the idea from Gold Club. And then we will send you we won't send you a heavy book. We'll send you something lighter. You know, maybe I'm thinking we will send you the Shantideva course from the ACI courses, or we will send you smaller things. If you're really cheap and you want to give $1 every year or something, I will send you Geshe Michael photograph. Okay. And you can put in your laptop and your phone, take out the photograph. And but we give you something, okay? We always give you something. So anyone who can help, in your region, there will be special choices for you, okay? And I'll put up Lindsay will put up how about we put up a QR code in the second class, okay? And then you can just contact your regional director and say, okay, I want to join the book club, but I don't have a lot of money, or I do have a lot of money, or, okay? If you want to give extra, it's okay. Okay, I need to raise, these translators, there's 12 translators. They are learning 2 things. Number 1, they are learning how to translate 8 different languages, 8 different ancient languages. Some of those languages died 2,000 years ago. Nobody speaks them except the Geshe, okay? It's very, very difficult. It takes about 25 years it's 8 different languages that you have to learn. So then I think the pressure of learning for those guys, those 12 translators, great pressure. They need to relax. They need something to relax. And I don't know if there's a connection, but most of them had kids in the last few years. You understand? Including Nick. okay, and Seiji, and Ben, and Word, and Adam. Okay, it's worse than COVID for me. It's some epidemic in the mixed nuts. And in the United States, each kid is $30,000 a year. Okay, you think you just have a kid, you get married, right, Tatiana? You get married and you say, I'm gonna have a kid. Well, get the money ready, honey. Because and by the way, the average salary in Rimrock is $30,000 a year. The average cost of a child in Rimrock is $30,000 a year. And that's why our town has no money to go to the cafe. Okay. And it's expensive. It's hard. Okay. So, and I have to find the money for these guys. I have to find it. It's a lot of pressure on me. Every year I get more white hair. First the hair turned white, then it exit. My wife's like, what's all this hair in the bathroom? I said, that's the fundraising for Nick. That's the fundraising for Word. No kidding, okay? So it'll help me to feed them, okay? I have to feed them, and it's my problem. It seems like if you can translate ancient language, that part of your brain lose fundraising ability. You see, either you translate or you fundraise, but I didn't meet anybody who can do both. Well, I was on the plane, the lady asked me, you have any kids? I said, yeah, I have 84. And she's like, I'm like, not like that. Anyway, I need to support them. And I need help. I really need help because otherwise I can't sleep. But even I joined the book club, I can't sleep. So I always worrying about how to find money for them. I'm like a preta. I feel like a preta sometimes. So help me out, okay, and help yourself out. And so this system with the briefcase, it helps you and it helps the translators. And those books survive for 2,000 years. Her book is 2,500 years. His book is 1,800 years. Seiji's book is 1,000 years. Nick's book is 1,900 years. They survive for 100 generations, okay? Now they came to us, and we have to keep them alive. We can't lose them. You can't say, it was my generation lost the 200,000 books, That's so embarrassing. When you go to Amitabha's heaven and they interview you, whether you can stay or not, and they say, didn't you lose all the books during your generation? And you have to say, no, I was in the Good Night Book Club. All right? Mazal, agree? Okay, all right. And you can meet all the directors of the different, did I forget anything? Rosa's looking at me with that look. She got this look that says, Geshe, you forgot something. I think that covers it, yeah. So please help us out. Help me out. If you take pressure off of me, I can translate more books and I can teach more. But if I have to do both, it's a very pressure on my health. Okay, good? All right. Okay. And we have, if we do this system, the translation classes, we did 1,200 classes already in 8 years, okay? And they are free because of Bo and Jamie. You guys stand up again? Yeah, they put on the internet. Okay. All those classes are free. And if you help me with the book club, we don't have to charge for the classes. So then the Shensang Tower classes, the 3 classes per week, they are free. Anybody can come for free, okay? there will be a lot of pressure from grandpa to join the club, but it's free. Okay, all right? And if you're a really stubborn person, you can escape without giving anything. Okay, and that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, my teacher never took any money, ever. He taught me for 30 years, and he never took any money from me, okay? All right. So should be like that, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, what is that? Oh, we're gonna try to make a better box. We have a cardboard box, and it's, you wanna show that picture, you guys? I don't know. We're gonna make you a wooden box. Anyway, don't worry about it. Let's get to class, okay. Let me find out where we are. Okay, good. I think we're at Dumba. You guys ready with the book? I don't know if we're there. No, there should be number 14. Yeah, there we go. No, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Go back. Go back up. Neldor.
He's not doing this again after 6 years. Let me just record this just in case. So that was it, really.
Don't go that way. Go this way. Yeah. Slow.
John
keep going.
Stillwell asked
Not that
if
one.
I would like
Keep
to
going.
get recordings of the classes.
Keep going.
And
One
so
more paragraph.
yeah, I had been really
Keep
looking
going.
for
More.
courses or any kind of
You guys
reasonable
need a book
teachings
club.
about the
Okay,
what's
stop
being
there.
taught in
Stop
the
there.
monastery.
Okay, good. Here we go.
And it was impossible.
All right, we're gonna go back to the
Wasn't
Lamrim.
available anywhere
Okay,
except
we are
in
doing.
really,
These advices came from 1,000
difficult
years ago,
translations that
and we have about I think 22
so
more.
I was really
These are
happy
little
to find out that
sound
somebody's
bites.
teaching it
Yeah,
and
just
that I
little
had
advice,
access to
you
the
know,
tapes. That was
little quick
amazing.
advice.
I ended up
And then they go
volunteering
to the
at
next
Through
one.
and we were doing the
And
cassette
they're
recordings
very
of every
beautiful.
teaching and
They're very,
sending
very
them out
beautiful.
to
After
prisons and
that,
places around
we
the
will
world.
start the Bodhisattva's
People that I
activities.
knew.
Okay, so we're just finishing how to think like a Bodhisattva, and then we will start the 6 activities of a Bodhisattva, if Geshe doesn't do too much fundraising. Okay, all right. When do I have to stop? In 15, we go to Q&A. You tricked me yesterday. No, we didn't have any class. Okay. Yeah, we'll do 15 minutes, and then me and Stanley are gonna do a dance. Okay, right? So, no, don't get excited until you see it. Okay, Nelnjor Tamje Chiki Ja. Yesterday I taught you Nelnjor, and I'll give you not any money to tell me what's Nelnjor. Yeah, yoga, okay? Nelnjor is the Tibetan translation of the Sanskrit word yoga. But there's 2 translation periods in Tibet. There's the early period where they translate by meaning, and then there's a later period when they translate by word. So in the early translation period, they have strange words, like nirvana is Nyangen Le Depa. What's that? Passing beyond grief. Passing beyond grief. So there were creative translations in the early time. Then later they started to make just drier translation. Okay, so this is one of the early translations. Nelnjor means accurate practice. What do you call it? Precision strike. We can call it precision strike. The Tibetan word for yoga is precision strike. You know, precision. You hit marma. You hit that killing point precisely, immediately. Okay, that's the word for yoga. It's very beautiful. Then he said, Nelnjor Tamje Chikija. You can do all the different kinds of yoga with one action. Okay. By the way, Kwani, you owe me in January, right? That we will continue the YSI 4-year program, of the classics of yoga. We are teaching the classical literature of yoga, which is extremely difficult, extremely deep. In my 3-year retreat, I translated a lot of it and I memorized it. I made 12 courses. And we are going through those courses in YSI. And you should get into it. It's very beautiful courses. And we are inside of a book called Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which was written 500 years ago. It's the second great book ever written on the yoga poses. What's the first great book? Lady Nuguma, okay. The Yoga Sutra doesn't teach asana. There's one line about asana, okay. So really it's Lady Nuguma, which we translated and we taught it, which is what we learned in the monastery. And then Hatha Yoga Pradipika, okay, how to do Hatha Yoga, which is Hatha Yoga, okay. So we're gonna start the 3rd chapter in January, okay. What's the appropriate idiom? I'm his idiom teacher. They promised me $20 per idiom when I teach them English idioms. They didn't pay me yet. I taught them thousands. Good. Be there or be square. It means it's probably the last time I'm going to teach Hatha Yoga Pradipika. And it's very deep and very beautiful about yoga and inner prana practices, and very, very deep. So if you don't come, you're a loser. Okay, yeah. And it's online, and if you want, you can come. We have a little bit in person also, if you want to come to BOC. The restaurants are much better than Kyoto. There's only one. They only serve cinnamon rolls. Okay, that's my problem. Okay, Nelja Tamje Chikija. You can do all your yoga practice with one thing. So come in January if you have time. It's 2 weeks, I think. 2-week course. 1 hour every day, something, or my class is an hour. We have many other classes, okay? Nelja Tamje Chikija. If you understand Lojong, you don't have to learn hundreds of practices, okay? You can just do one, okay? If you understand Lojong, Lojong means a special practice which opens your heart. Okay, it's called a heart opening practice, Lojong. And it was invented about 1,000 years ago. And people used it since then. And that's what and Seiji's book, which is the next book we're going to publish, is an excellent, it's one of the greatest presentations of Lojong. And it's going to be available in 2-3 months, something like that. If the university doesn't give me too much work, okay? Dakshen Nyamje, okay, Dakshen Nyamje. People say exchange self and others, okay? It's not a great translation, okay? Dakshen Nyamje is really 2 practices, okay? 2 practices. Number 1 is to think about that every human being has equal right to happiness. Actually, every living being has equal right to happiness, okay? Everybody has equal right to happiness. Not one country has more right, not one species has more right than the other species, Animals have equal right to this earth. Human countries have equal right to happiness. Everyone has equal right to be a happy person. And fish, birds, everybody. We cannot ruin the home of the fish, the ocean, for the humans. That's not fair. We all share the same world. We all a living being. So everyone should have equal right to happiness. That's called nyam. Okay, nyam means equal right. So this meditation, Lojong, it has 2 steps. Number 1, nyam. You know, we all have equal right. We all have equal right. Animals, people, equal right. Birds, fish, dogs, snakes, rattlesnakes, equal right. Okay, and human beings, countries, each race, each religion has equal right to happiness. Okay, that's called Nyam. And J means, do you believe in equal rights so deeply that you will give your right away to another person? Are you really believe in equal right? Do you really believe in equal rights? Okay, your country has more money, or your country has more land, or your country has more oil. You know, do you understand equal right enough to share everything you have, to make equal, to create equal? Okay, if you're below equal, you support this idea, right? If your income is very low, you support the rich countries should help the poor countries, right? But if you're in the rich country, do you believe in equal rights enough to share what you have without government asking you, without revolution, without suffering people? Do you have the strength to put your money where your mouth is? Okay. Oh, I support equal right. Okay, so give half your income away to the people who are having war right now. Okay, and I'm very proud in Sedona. The people there are doing it. They're really doing it. Okay, they are supporting refugees. John Brady's project is all refugees for 35 years. What happens to refugees when there's a war? Refugees created. They go to other country. Everybody feels sad. Everybody donates for 6 months. Then they get tired. Or there's new refugees. Then they have to support the Gaza refugee or something. You know, there's a new refugees. And then it's very bad to be a refugee after 1 year or 2 years, because everybody moved to the next refugee. And the refugee who's still poor, still hungry, still don't have a place to stay, then they get real problems, okay? So we are supporting John Brady's project. Where is John Brady? We support them for 35 years. We are helping them for 35 years. We don't give them money. We have a policy. We don't give them money. We give them skills. We teach them computer work, and they make their own money. And they support themselves. If I die, if John dies, they will continue. They have a special skill. I was in New York. Me and John Brady did a fundraiser, 1997, something like that, at, what's it called? What's that famous cosmetics company? But it's Bubble and Bubble, but they were sold to Estee Lauder, yeah. So anyway, we want to do a fundraiser for John Brady's project in New York City around 1997 or something. And we know the guy who's big fat cat in Estee Lauder, the Bumble and Bumble division. And he has a theater in his company in Manhattan, which is very expensive. And we said, can we borrow the theater for fundraiser? And he said, yes. So me and John Brady went there. We taught the King of the Dharma book, and we tried to get funds for the refugee input project. And we had to go the day before and decorate the place and get the refreshments ready. And we worked very late. And then whenever I go to New York, I stay at John's apartment, which he sold. He had one of the most expensive apartments in Manhattan at the penthouse of Central Park. This is like a little bit lower than Tushita Paradise. It's, I don't know what's the value. He was a real fat cat executive, and he had one of the most expensive apartments in New York. By the way, later he sold it and gave all the money to the input project, okay, to save the books. Yeah. And a few years later, someone gave him a very expensive house in Sedona. I don't know why. Okay. Uh, anyway, so we went home and we're really tired, and I said, he said, let's go to bed, and he had 2 rooms, and he had a, what do you call that kind of bed? Murphy bed. The bed comes out of the wall, so I get on that bed, he gets on the couch, and I sleep there. And I said, usually I like to have fresh orange juice in the morning. And he said, I don't have any oranges. And I said, well, can we get some? And he said, well, the stores are closed. It's midnight, but there's a small fruit store. It's open all night, So I went there, and I start to look at the fruit. Then there's 2 Asian ladies in the store, and they start talking Tibetan to each other. And I didn't say anything, and I'm listening, and I'm picking the oranges. And then I went to pay for the oranges, and I said, where are you guys from? And they said, we're from Tibet. And I said, wow, how you get a, what do you call it, visa? How you come to the United States? I thought you don't have passport. You are a refugee. And they said, yeah, we are a refugee, but we live in a special refugee camp in India. And I'm like, oh, what do you guys, what's it like? And she said, well, it's very strange because we have a computer center in our refugee camp. And I said, what do you guys do? And they said, we take ancient books and we input them for this crazy 2 American guys, And I'm like, really? And they said, yeah. And this is all in English, right? And then I didn't say anything. And I said, so how did you get a visa? They said, well, we learned programming because we have a computer center. And then we got a special visa for programmers. And we allowed to come to America. We got green card. I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful story, And then I said, did you meet those 2 crazy American guys? They're like, no, we never met them, I said, okay. I didn't say anything. But I went outside, I started to cry, because they said, those guys save our life. Those guys save our family, and, so I went outside, I'm crying, he's crying, we're like, wow, give me 5, chichang. What do you call it in Spanish in Mexico? Chocolate. Yeah. So we give high five. And then we walk home, and I said, John, get those guys to come tomorrow. We can raise a lot of money. So he sent his assistant to the fruit store. And we told them, come tomorrow. Chiba kungureda. We told them, wear the Tibetan lady's beautiful outfit. Then no one can refuse money. So they came all dressed. And we had a big reunion, and we're all crying, and it was beautiful. Why I'm talking about that? Yeah, generally people don't help refugees after a year or after 2 years, and there's no. The feeling when you help a refugee is, I'm giving you money, and you should be grateful to me, and that's not lojong. Okay, that's not lojong. Lojong says, those refugees have a right to half of your money. They have a right to it. You cannot refuse them, okay? You must give it to them. It's theirs. Temporarily, somehow you got it. Somehow you got too much. But now, voluntarily, you have to share. It's very similar to the introduction of socialism in China. It's very similar. It's like time to share. And now everybody has to share what they have, and it's voluntary. Each person does it by themselves. And we call Dakshen Nyamje. Dakshen Nyamje means you have equal right to my money. Everybody has equal right. Everybody should have equal income, equal house, equal car, equal income, okay? And if you do it voluntarily, you are practicing Lojong, okay? No one tells you you have to do it. There's no revolution. No one shoot you if you don't do it, okay? You do it from your heart. It's an inner revolution. And Geshe just mentions it once and you do it, right? And share what you have, okay? Share what you have. It's not yours really. It's somebody else's, so you have to share. You don't have a choice. Don't give me this $5 for ACI thing. Come on. You know, share, really share, okay? Really share. Don't give your extra. Okay, last story. Then Stanley gonna talk. My Lama, he had a bell. It's for a dog. It's a dog bell. You know, when you ring the bell, the dog will come. You know. Then he told me, when I ring the bell, you come. I'm like, whoa, whoa, you know. And then he will, if he wants me, he will ring the bell, you know. And I live downstairs. He lives upstairs. I built his house. That's what happened to my hands. So he lives upstairs. Then one day he rings the bell, you know, and he says, you know, get up here quick, you know. And I'm like, okay. What was the story? No, it's something else. Huh? Never mind. I'll tell you later. Huh? No, but why he ring the bell? So he will ring the bell when he wants me. Huh? You know all the stories. Come on, huh? That's it. So he ring the bell, and then I run up, and the Pope, the Christian Pope, came to New York City. He came to Giant Stadium. This holds 60,000 people, and he's sitting in the middle. And he says, listen to this. This is really good, you know. And I'm like, okay. And the Pope said, at that moment, I don't know how my teacher know what he's going to say, but the Pope said, don't give your extra. Give half of everything. Don't give 2%, don't give 3%. Give half of everything you have. Give it, you know. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you know. Okay. All right. That's what this Lojong is saying. Okay. And you don't need me to be your police. Just do it. Shut up and do it. Okay. You don't have to tell anybody. I like to tell people because I'm a bragger. But you don't have to tell anybody. Just do it. Okay. Just do it. It's the right thing to do. Okay. All right. Stanley's got something. You come up. I sit down. Okay. All right.
Hello， 大家好。
Hello everyone.
接下来我们会进入到一个杂志发布的活动，所以请大家在座位上稍微再坐一会儿。
Now here comes the launch of a magazine tonight. So please stay in your seat.
然后今天开场听到这个葛西老师在讲晚安俱乐部的时候，我强烈的怀疑是因为这个俱乐部需要加入一些像我这样子读经典很困难的人，然后一本轻松的读物，所以有了今天的这个杂志发布。
So today when Geshe talk about the Good Night Club, I think maybe it's because it's for me, a person who have difficulties to understand all the Asian books, so that we need some